You look lovely. I'll bang you. 3, 2, 1.
You're back in the room.
We're back. Welcome back. Episode 37.
Is it 37?
It's 37. 37.
37.
37. Everyone listening, welcome back. Hope you're well. Let's get into it.
Can you believe we made it to 37 episodes?
I can't believe
It's
it.
taken us like 2.5 years.
It would have been a lot
37
more
episodes.
without all our breaks, but I think we've done just fine. Just a spiffing job. So, welcome back.
Spiffy.
And yeah, it was lots to talk about. Right, this is burning me to talk about. I've literally reserved having this conversation I'm about to have. In my
Before
little...
we jump into that,
Yeah, go on.
just quickly,
He just delaying me how excited I am.
yeah, we're not in a different location today. Everything does look slightly different because we're in the middle of redecorating. But yeah, I just thought I'd throw that out of the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Jazzing it up. The little cheeky jazz.
Jazz.
We are not in a flat in the Lebanon.
No, we're not.
Or we might be.
If you hear explosions outside, I do apologise.
Absolutely. It's like Gaza Strip. Right, so I've been waiting to talk about this for quite some time. I'm probably overbuilding this up, but with me, right, let me give you the background story. With me moving, I've moved as well. And in the period...
That's why this other new episode has taken a bit longer than usual.
Absolutely.
Not longer than usual, longer than we wanted.
Well, longer than wanted, so we had a lot going on. So, for me, Google Stadia.
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 No, Stadia.
Stadia.
Let's talk about it. So,
Let's get into it.
let's get into it. So, it came out November 2019, had to fact check that. I got given it by Google as a Christmas present in 2019.
For YouTube Premium.
For YouTube Premium. And I used it for probably... Total hour playtime was probably 4 hours. Because they gave it 4 or 5 hours. Because when you break it down when I was playing it in the showroom.
Yeah.
On a work computer. Right? It plays... Absolutely... It played lovely then. It played great. No input lag. Let's explain what Stadia is for people who don't understand this. What Stadia is a controller. Well, not even that. Stadia is a software system where you can play games remotely.
So via the cloud.
Via the cloud. You don't
Via
need
the cloud.
You don't need an Xbox or a PlayStation. You can literally go on your phone onto Google Chrome browser and play. You can play on Chromecast on telly. You can play on Google tablets. So as long as you've got some form of web browser, you can play AAA games and indie games via Stadia on the cloud. Google also offered, which they gave to me, a controller and a Chromecast Ultra. So I could use the controller for controlling, Chromecast Ultra for the telly to beam me up Scotty and play. Now, let's break this down.
Does it make noises when you turn it on? Ooh.
It does make noise when you power it up though. When you first launch it, it goes in my car, it's simulating. So, what has done me with technology in this day and age, and with the semiconductor shortage that we're not going to keep banging on about.
Yes, we are.
Where you can't buy Xboxes, where you can't buy PlayStations, I genuinely believe if anyone's on a budget and you have a internet connection that is okay at best, then I genuinely believe now that Stadia is an alternative to people that can't buy a console. 1,000,000%.
I'll put it out there, just from the other end of the spectrum.
Yep.
I've not played Stadia.
You've witnessed it in the early stages,
I
though.
witnessed the early stage of you playing it.
And it was good, and it was flawless, and there was very little input lag.
I, as part of the Xbox Insider program, got access to the Xbox Cloud gaming services. Absolute shite, if you pardon my French.
Software related, and let me tell you that I've seen you do it, and right. I think Google's Stadia system is absolutely superb. Now let me break this down on a bit more of a nitty-gritty level. I can sit in my living room, the Wi-Fi router 2 rooms across from the gaff, and I can use
That's
a wireless...
the house if you're from another country.
Yeah, and I can use the controller remotely. So the controller is sending my signals of what I'm doing, left, right, A, B, shoot, back, jump, whatever. It sends it from the controller up the Wi-Fi to the Google Cloud to control the game, which is also being beamed down simultaneously to my telly. That is insane. And still maintain good graphics. If your internet's speed enough, you can run 4K. 60 frames a second with ray tracing. So absolutely crazy. And for me, I have a very nice computer rig, lovely. I play a lot of PC games, not so much for a while. But I miss the casual aspect of gaming. And I believe Stadia is there for you casual gamers. I believe buying an Xbox or a PlayStation is a bad move. If you're literally a casual gamer, pick it up for a bishy bash of an hour of an evening or 2 hours.
Do you not also think it could be very counterproductive?
In what way?
Not saying this is you, but saying to the general public. You're on a Teams call, you're on a Zoom meeting, you open up in a separate window and have your controller under the desk. Would it not be slightly counterproductive?
Only listen, if you can host a Teams call, which I've been doing lots of recently, which is driving me mad. If you could do lots of Teams calls and play video games, then and you're taking in information or whatever, or the fact that you can even do it, Godspeed, because I couldn't. My brain's not powerful enough. I've got smooth brain.
Smooth brain.
I have smooth brain, so my brain cannot understand it. But it genuinely, I think, in light of the and I'll put some footage as we're talking up of games that I've captured on Stadia. That's the other thing. Stadia, you can, whilst you're doing this and you're sending signals to your controller up to Sky and it's down into your telly, you can also stream. And it works with OBS, so it can work with third-party software. You can capture basically 1080p or even 4K resolution. I think it's 4K. I'll double check factor that. But you can screen capture and save for later. All this while you're playing on Wi-Fi, AAA titles. I think it's amazing. And it's only got better. Now, to go back to this, I played in December 2019, January 2020, because Google gave me the free kit. I had 6 months worth of Stadia Pro, which gives you all the free games. It's like your Xbox Game Pass or your Sony PS Plus, whatever. You generally get a lot of older titles, but older AAA titles. But a lot of people were up in arms because you had to buy the controller. You didn't have to, but you buy the controller, you get the monthly subscription, and if you buy like Cyberpunk for 55 quid and you don't pay your monthly subscription, you can't play the game that you basically paid. Which I understand the frustration, but I think for £8 a month for Stadia Pro, you do get some really good games that I've even gone back to play that I don't really like going back to play old games. Even if they're like 2020, 2018, 2019, they're done, they're old news. Even if I didn't play them, I can't be bothered. It's done.
They're beneath me.
They're behind me. Water under the bridge, I'm out. But now, I find myself, I just want a casual game. I don't want to have to boot my computer up and then find out it's got a million updates to do because I haven't turned it on for a week. And they're like 100 gig or 25 gig. At that point, you can't be bothered to play because you have to do all these updates. Stadia, there's no updates. It's literally, I want to play a game. I'm playing a game.
I went through that process of sorting out my broadband a couple of weeks ago when it wasn't working. So I didn't turn my Xbox on for, it's got to have been about 10 days. So I thought, do you know what? A couple of days before it got fixed, I thought I'll play my Xbox, but I'll tether it up to my phone. First thing it did, update. That took about 25 minutes. Then after that, I finally got on. I couldn't actually get into any games because my connection wasn't strong enough. And I couldn't join a party chat because my connection wasn't strong enough. I couldn't do anything. So yeah, I totally agree that obviously as long as your internet works, that it could be the more beneficial route. It could be easier to jump into.
Flaw. So Ricky's quite avidly pointed out an issue, which is connected. I understand that not everyone's going to have super out of this world internet. And even with a 70 meg download speed, I'd say normally at any crucial part of any game, all of a sudden it'll go blah, 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 blah. And it's still the input. There's no input lag. You're still playing like you would be normally, but you just can't see what you're doing. It looks like you smeared Vaseline on your eyes, and you're trying to see what's going on. It is like, but that.
See, whenever I played that on Xbox like cloud gaming, the resolution and stuff would stay fine, but there'd all of a sudden just be massive input lag.
Yeah.
And everything would just drop and it'd freeze and it'd take ages to catch back up again.
Well, Google was saying about implementing the software into third-party devices and stuff, but sticking with it, I've just got to say that gets a JSD thumbs up, stamp of approval that I think Stadia, if you haven't got a next-gen console, you want a AAA game, and you have a download speed of about, I want to say 35 meg and upwards, I'd definitely, I wouldn't even consider it, just try it. £8 a month.
Give it a bash.
£8 a month. And if you've got a computer...
We need an on-screen graphic of little red stamp. JSD.
Yeah, I have to get it on there. I'm saying it now though, but I'm literally blown away. You could literally have the most potato of computer. My English is good. Potato of computer, and it doesn't matter because it's not using any of your GPU power. It's all from the internet. It's crazy. You don't need. I'm telling you now, you don't need a console.
I'll need to see it in action because my experience with cloud gaming makes me very.
Oh, Ricky,
skeptical.
I can give you 20 minutes of it, and you'll be like, yeah, that's good. That's really good.
Yeah, it works. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, so much so, I'm actually considering paying £55 for Red Dead Redemption just to play through it again, just on Stadia. I just don't know why. I fancy it. But what I'm getting at is I haven't paid any games. I've paid the monthly subscription, £8. I've already got a controller and Google Chromecast, which I'm very fortunate for. But if you look at the bigger picture, I mean, Ricky, pad time.
Pad time.
Pad time. Stadia.
Pad Thai.
Stadia. Price. Stadia controller. Can't even type. Controller price.
Inadvertently, this is Joe's segment of his ongoing phone review, and it's still working.
Right. Brand new. If you go to Google Shop, it's £59.
Google it.
It's the controller's £59. So I don't understand why you wouldn't. It's an Xbox if you can find one.
Is the controller good though?
Yeah. The D-pad's a bit over clicky for me. Works lovely though. It does. It feels nice in the hands. Loads of like most things. But if it looks nice, it feels nice. D-pad's a bit naff, but there's not many beat 'em ups for me in there.
Is it set up like a Xbox controller or like a weird sticker?
It's it's like a DualShock, but it's like an Xbox controller S.
Yeah.
From the Xbox days.
Yeah.
Or even like your current pads, but with a PS5 setup. So no wonky-eyed sloth from Goonies analog sticks. You literally have the chunkiness of an Xbox pad, but with the setup of a PlayStation controller.
That would hurt my hands. Because my hands are now ingrained to being like this. On that note, Sony had the news recently about the PS5.
What then? I heard the last bit of news.
PS5 Pro
is
apparently on its way. There's been a lot of uproar about this online because there's still, pardon my French again, a fuck ton of people that have not actually been able to get their hands on a PS5.
Get Stadia. I don't know what you want me to say. Yeah, but I mean, I get it. For me, I genuinely believe if you are, I'm not going to bang the drum anymore. I'm actually taken back by it. Like, it must. I'm trying to get it across here. Like, I'm taken away by Stadia. Anyway, sorry, but you could either listen to me. Listen to me. I'm your captain now. You could either buy a gaming console for £500 and upwards, or a PC for £1,500 and upwards, or Stadia for £8 a month and a pad for £60.
I know what I'd rather get. It's beyond me.
I'm telling you, once you've tried it, you love it. So anyway, Stadia.
So Joe's the approval. Once you go Stadia, you never go back.
No, if you're really hardcore gamer and you like Call of Duty and you like Fortnite and you like playing multiplayer games.
You say hardcore gamer and then say Call of Duty and Fortnite in the same breath.
If you're a hardcore multiplayer gamer and you like playing those kind of games, then Stadia is more casualer than those kind of players because you can't get them games on there. And I understand why, because it's probably too much going on. But look, just fucking buy it. Just do it.
There's a lot of French going on today.
Yeah, there's a lot of French going on today. Just buy it. Just do it. Just try it now. Thank you.
You're ambassador for Nike.
Why?
Or Nike.
Nike. But yeah.
Just do it.
Just do it. So yeah, I've been playing a bit of that, and my PC's not had a look in. I've got good internet now, and my PC's there. I don't bother. I just can't be bothered. For me, it just seems like a lot of an odd. I've never thought I'd say this, but it seems. Right, put it this way, I can literally sit in the living room on a nice comfy chair I'm not on a wheelchair that rolls across the room. That's another story, inside joke. But what I'm saying is I can just sit on the sofa and play Stadia and not worry about turning on the PC. So I'm going to stop fanboying Google. I'm not trying to, but I wish I brought it around. You'd try it. You'd love it. Anyway, so...
this week's video is sponsored by Google.
Yeah, I promise you it's not. I wish it was. Get in touch with me. But yeah, anyway... Quite interestingly, Ricky, you brought this up, and I find this. Right, what have you been watching on telly?
What have I been watching on telly? What brought this up and what brought this question into my head was the new Obi-Wan series.
Right, I haven't watched it yet, so no spoilers.
I started watching it. Obviously, there's only 2 available at time of recording. I think we've got to a point now where there's a lot of stuff that we're getting oversaturated with TV programs.
Yeah.
Or like TV content. So we're getting a lot of universes, if you want to call them that way, or a lot of genres, styles of shows that are coming. There's lots and lots of it. For the people that love those sorts of things, so for the big Star Wars fans out there, that's great. And to be honest, I can't say a bad word about the Obi-Wan series because so far 2 episodes in, it's actually very good. But there's a lot of go back to the Marvel stuff. Like I went and watched Doctor Strange the other day.
I haven't seen it. Don't ruin it.
I went and watched it at the cinema. Very, very good. But if someone hadn't seen any of the Marvel stuff up to this point and they went and watched that, they'd have absolutely no clue what was going on.
Right.
It's a good film in its own right. It is a good film.
I didn't know you was going to go there, and it's very weird that you have, because I was having this conversation with my brother today, and I've got to be honest with you, I remember getting excited for a Marvel film to come out, watching the trailer, watching the film, staying for the post-credit sequence, and being excited for the next film. I'm out. I'm
kind of still in that. I still enjoy going to see them. I still like them. I like the fact it's one big, long, ongoing story. I like that. But at the same time, there's a lot of fodder in between now that you have to give up with. Like, you have to watch the TV programs, like the series now, in order to be able to know what's going on. For example, I took my eldest to the cinema to sit because he watches Marvel stuff with me. He loves it. He's always going on about stuff like that, and he really likes Doctor Strange. So it was like, right, yeah, fine, perfect. That seems like a lot of sense. Let's go watch it. But because he hadn't seen one of the TV programs, there was parts of the film that did make sense, but didn't make sense. There was bits behind it, and I'm not going to ruin it for you. Once you've seen it, we'll speak about it again. But
right, where I'm at with it, I think that it's too much for me to keep up with. There is too much to watch, and I've got to be honest with you. From the glimmers of what I have seen, it doesn't really entice me into. When there's so much to watch, you want to feel like, I want to watch that. Like Stranger Things, we'll come back to.
Right.
I'm heavily invested in it, and new series. I'm up for it, and I have started watching it. I'm loving it. With Star Wars, I used to be really into Star Wars. With Marvel, I used to be really into it. It's not an anti-Disney rant, but like for instance, I think I've said this historically. The Loki TV series. Have you watched it?
Yeah, I've watched it.
As soon as it revealed who the evil Loki was, I was out. And I'll explain why. And for instance, I'm not trying to. This is going to sound very sexist, what I'm about to say, and it does. I don't mean it to be that way. However, I feel
it shouldn't be female.
I feel not in that it shouldn't be. I've got no problem with it being female. However, I feel that Disney are trying to creep in the message into all their things, and I'll explain. So, for instance, the fact that Star Wars, Rey, she has not had to work for adversity although she was on a planet as a rust collector, she didn't really. All of a sudden, she's got powers. She can just use them. There's no real training involved, and she's the most powerful person, so happens to be a woman in a whole entire galaxy. Mugs off Luke Skywalker, who's breastfeeding from a nipple of a monkey thing on a planet, on an island. You know what I mean? And what they've done is they've reduced characters that we really, really love into nothing. Into people that I feel like Luke Skywalker had a phenomenal story, and he warmed the fans' hearts, and you wanted to see his journey, the turmoil, find out Darth Vader was his father. Plot twist. There we go. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen it. But what I mean is that they just take a big steaming dump on it. Oh, Rey, she's the most powerful person ever, and here she is.
So this is,
and the same with Loki. Oh, she's more stronger than this Loki, and she happens to be a woman. Okay, no worries. And I thought that might just be a coincidence, Ricky, but it can keep on going. Captain Marvel, most powerful entity in the whole wide world, and that's just how it is. And the most obnoxious actress in the planet doing the role. Lost me. Didn't even see that film. I'm not being sexist. However, what I heavily frown upon is the fact that you can build James Bond's another one, not Disney, but James Bond's another one. I didn't even have to see the film. I predicted it, and it happened. It's that, you know, there's going to tee up for a female Bond, which is fine, but then Daniel Craig becomes a bumbling idiot and loses all these bump. He does. As soon as this is going to be the new Bond, Daniel Craig just becomes a bumbling idiot that basically this woman has to suffer. Do you know what I mean? And it's really, I feel that they've completely just taken a steaming dump on all the much loved characters that I've grown up with, and I just don't want to see it.
I know what you mean, and there's a lot of points there that's too much for me to go back on. A lot of the especially the Marvel stuff, because if we're talking Marvel, a lot of it is already written into the comics, so a lot of it is already taken from stuff that already exists. So it's not like they sort of just chucked in, oh, we've got to make him female because one of the Lokis was a crocodile. You know, it depends on multiverses and where they come from and stuff, and to an extent, Doctor Strange kind of explains a lot of that as well when you see the film.
But I get that. However, why all of a sudden, when there's a strong female lead, which I've got no problem with, and I'll give an example of this in a minute if I can try and rack my brain memory because I was thinking about this earlier. I've got no problem with that, but why is that? And I'll completely support that because there's lots of been She-Hulk and all these kind of... And She-Hulk's another thing coming out that I've also got an issue with, but I'll come back to that in a minute. The problem I've got is that that's no issue with that, but then why do the male leads that have been around and we know the characters just... They lose their character traits and become bumbling fools. In what dimension? Luke Skywalker is a prime candidate for this. In what dimension would Luke Skywalker be sat on a planet breastfeeding from a gorilla? Then to lose a lightsaber battle to a girl that has held one for probably not even 20 minutes of screen time. Not even that. If you break it down for her use of it, it's probably... And I'm not trying to sound like a super geek here, but I know I am, but... For probably a minute and a half of screen time, all of a sudden Rey can outperform Luke Skywalker with a lightsaber. With no training.
So this is where this falls down into a conversation I've had with many people, like many times. So, especially in the realm of Star Wars, because if you look at it, so I was speaking to my manager at work, who you happen to know, and he was saying it's just... It seems to be the way it works. It's generational. So he'll look at the original trilogy, so 3, 4, 5, 6, and to him that's the pinnacle of Star Wars. If I look at Star Wars and what I think is the best trilogy, it's the second trilogy. It's the prequels. It's 1, 2, and 3. Now listen to me. Listen. This is because that's what I grew up with. So I didn't grow up with 4, 5, and 6. I grew up with 1, 2, and 3. So the first thing I knew about Star Wars, I'd seen the other films before, but they were just films at the time because I was too young to understand. So when I looked at them, I looked at 1, 2, and 3 as, oh my god, this is amazing. I rewatched 1, The Phantom Menace, earlier, because to me, that's my favourite Star Wars film. Don't care what you say, Darth Maul is the greatest villain in the Star Wars franchise. Because when I was a kid and I first saw that...
It blew your mind.
He had the dual with lightsaber. It was amazing. Absolutely amazing.
Right.
And this is the same as what they've done with the new trilogy. And I'm kind of in the same boat in the sense of that character arc of Rey was how on earth did that happen, and I'm the same, but then there's a whole generation of people below us that have watched those films and gone, oh my god, that's amazing. For example, again, go back to my eldest, he watches those films and they're Star Wars. That's Star Wars.
Right, so circle back and for me, 1, 2, and 3 episodes, 1, 2, 3 Star Wars. I grew up with them. They were my Star Wars. They're still not my favourite. And there's only one series of films going back to Bond. And when everyone talks about James Bond, well, who's your Bond? Mine was Pierce Brosnan because I grew up with Pierce Brosnan.
Same.
However, Star Wars is different for me, and it's not for the fact of what I grew up with. As a 30-odd-year-old man looking back, Padme on episodes 1 to 3 was intelligent, clever, and had great foresight and peace amongst herself, and had one objective to bring peace. Didn't have to wield a lightsaber. She literally just was an intelligent woman that unfortunately attracted an absolute maniac, and that story made sense, although it was a very cringy film. But if I had an award for the most cringy films that I love, just for the memes, 1, 2, and 3 episode Star Wars, win it for me. Just because they're so cringy, but I like that for the cringe. But it's not my Star Wars films, but not my favourite anyway. But I grew up with them like you. So what I mean is, Padme, I didn't mind Padme because I respected her. She's a cool character. That she was good with a gun, and she was just, you know, whatever. Rey's, you cannot compare Rey. Rey didn't even realise she had Jedi powers. The next, in half an hour screen time, is now outperforming Luke Skywalker and throwing him around like a ragdoll and beating him up. And that makes no sense. I get what you're saying. I completely get it. But I feel like there's a message just being pushed into all their films and TVs, and which is why I sort of don't really bother with them. And also add that to the fact that there is just a lot of them to watch, and I haven't got the time. And with a mixture of all that.
Let's face it, they're trying to capture new generations of people, which we totally understand. We totally get that. And when you look at it in a way, Disney is almost becoming a monopoly, really, when you think about it. Because everything we're talking about at the moment is all under the Disney
Oh,
name.
I know, yeah. Absolutely.
So it's all in one place.
But look, to summarise, I mean, I completely understand what people say, but I don't think you've even got to look that far. Even if you just look up what people in general. If you ever get a chance, folks, there's a YouTube channel called The Drinker Recommends. Absolutely watch it. I might tag a couple of videos in the if I can remember to, my smooth brain, to put in the description. Go and check out his channel. Also, there's two people I like to go to talk about films, listen to talk about films to sort of summarise my opinions and how I feel about it, and listen to it to see if someone else has sort of had the same sort of summary of a film. And you got the Cosmonaut Quickie, and he is always a positive aspect and critical, constructive, very constructive, critically reviews films very well. And then you've got The Drinker Recommends. He's normally a bit negative, but I understand what he's saying. It's two yin and yangs, but they often draw the same conclusions. So, Doctor Strange, I really want to... I want to see at some point. But that's the difference. Civil War came out. I want to see it now. Where can I find it leaked? I just want to watch it. Filmed on a potato in the back of a cinema in China.
That was slightly different though, because there was the whole hype around, obviously, Spider-Man stuff being in it, Spider-Man being in a Marvel film.
But I had the hype before the Spider-Man hype was released just before the film coming out. So most people didn't know about it. It's just the fact that it was exciting. You want to see how it played out with all the. This is the first time we've seen universes link in with films, really. But now I'm just like, meh, yeah. Anyway, Stranger Things.
Stranger Things about them.
Stranger Things about them. Right, so talking about.
I'm not disappearing.
Talking about what I have dedicated time to, Stranger Things, and.
Do you like my beard?
Oh, very good. I missed your beard. Ricky's had a beard check. Beard check 1, 2, 3. The Ricky check.
Shaved the beard off. A good friend of mine got married a couple of days ago.
Nice.
I didn't want to turn up looking like a homeless person.
So he needed a beard, so you gave him yours.
So I gave him mine.
Nice.
Yep. Bit of Velcro, bit of glue.
Lovely. He loves a slap in the face. Stranger Things is you haven't seen any of it, have you?
I watched the first episode. So me and
Of series 1.
Yeah, me and the missus. We like to try and find stuff to watch together. And a lot of the time, we end up watching the first episode, saying, "Go, that was shit." Never watch it again. We started watching Stranger Things. It was a bit slow to start with. I thought I could probably deal with this if I keep watching it. She was like, "This is shit." We never watched it again. So I've watched the first episode. So I will probably need to go back and rewatch it.
Series 1 is phenomenal. Look, a lot of you guys have probably seen it. Series 1 is definitely a very slow burn. It takes a while to get going. Series 2... Oh, God, Series 2 was... I can't remember now. I think Series 2 was okay.
It was that good.
Series 3 was... No, it wasn't. Series 1 was like, oh, wow, this is actually quite cool. It had 80s theme, really resonated with me because I love 80s anyway. I think most people did. Really doled into that nostalgia. Series 1 okay. Well, Series 1 really good. Series 2 okay. Series 3 is like, oh, yeah. Had a couple of dead episodes in it that were very fillery. This season so far is...
From what I know, aren't the episodes like an hour and a half long each?
In this series so far, I think an hour and 20, yeah.
Yeah, they're almost feature-length film.
Don't mind that, though.
Length.
Don't mind that. You got a story to tell. Tell it to me. Tell me. Teach me, senpai. Terry tips.
But to me.
No, honestly, Stranger Things is definitely worthwhile watching. Yeah. Check it out. And that is another TV show with a strong female lead, but in a good way. you got someone that's gone through adversity, discovered her powers, honed them, lost them, gets them back. Whee! It's a roller coaster of emotions. I like that. I like a roller coaster. When you give Ray a lightsaber and just put she's just going up. That is the difference. That is the best way to sorry, I'm going to summarise this. I like going on. I've got a hold on for this.
I did watch The Last Jedi before you turned up. I'm not going to lie.
Oh,
we saw it on the TV.
right.
I literally watched it.
Elle from Stranger Things is a roller coaster. You got the ups, you got the downs. You're like, yeah, that makes the character. Ray in Star Wars. Oh, is this going to go down at any point? No. She's so strong she can't be killed. Oh, she's so strong she can outperform everyone lots. Like anyway.
Spoiler alert. She's a Palpatine.
Oh, she didn't know it. And just because she's a Palpatine. Luke Skywalker is also related to Darth Vader. Didn't know he could use lightsaber, had to be trained. Ray doesn't need it. There you go. That is the best way to summarise my argument.
That is evolution.
It's not.
It is evolution.
Devolution of brain power and absolute.
Because if you go to the other end of the spectrum, Anakin, obviously before he became Darth Vader, spoiler alert, sorry, he was even lower than that before he started.
But he had training. He was buddied up with Obi-Wan Kenobi and went through the motions.
Evolution.
Oh, now they're just born. They can hold lightsabers. They come out like the womb. I'm a killer baby.
Yeah.
No.
The next series, as the baby comes out of the womb, he's going to go vroom, and literally just put it to his hand.
No, I'm out. I'm sorry, Disney. I'm out. You'll know now. Disney goes bankrupt overnight. JSD says he's out.
JSD said no.
JSD said no. But absolutely. But this brings me on to something else actually, because this is something that I've been saying for a long time, and you G'd it up with this. And please, Ricky, tell me.
What?
Why does Hollywood keep... we keep talking about this. No new ideas in TV shows and films. And this is very turned into a very ranty episode. I don't mean to be. But it's the nature of where we're going. So, in for a penny, in for a pound.
Just to give you an idea, before he turned up tonight, he was not in a bad mood, but you were very ranty anyway, and it seems to have spilled over into the into the episode.
Well, you haven't helped me with the topics.
To be honest with you, this is gold. Keep going.
Right. But for instance, why do you not see many new ideas on TV and films and anything? And I've always had a theory. I'm just going to throw the JSD movie theory out. Why remake RoboCop?
Yep.
RoboCop in the 80s was cheesy, bit B-rolly, cool film. Looking back, cool film.
Okay, yeah. I was going to say the opposite of that. I was going to say it was a shit film, but carry on.
Remade it, rubbish. Terminator, really good film growing up. 80s, Terminator 1, T2, amazing films. T2, the best CGI I've ever seen. Early days CGI, but not too much of it, not to make you sick. Good. 3, 4. They keep remaking Terminator films now and grinding it into the ground to make it rubbish. Now, Italian Job, good film. Remade it, made it worse. My opinion is...
I'm going to stop you there because that hits a nerve. I really enjoyed the second one as much as I enjoyed the first one. I don't think they did a bad job. Again, this is my opinion.
You're allowed it, but you know what I'm going to say? You're wrong. So basically...
You're entitled to your opinion, even if your opinion's wrong.
Absolutely. But keep to yourself, please. Don't embarrass yourself, right? Don't embarrass yourself. But what I mean is that why not? Why keep going back to... Running out of ideas, going back to old films and remaking them badly with loads of money and pissing it away. Why not go back to, as an experiment, go back to shitty old films that didn't have the budget...
And make them really good. Can I throw out an example?
Please.
He-Man, Master of the Universe.
That was Golf Longborough, wasn't it, when we played that, yeah. I don't even remember it, actually.
As a kid, growing up, I must have been about 3 or 4. I've not got very many early memories. I can barely remember what I did last week. But one of my memories is I know that I watched that film close to 300 times.
Really?
Because we had it on VHS and I used to watch it, take it straight back to the beginning. Not straight back, rewind it. And then watch it again. I used to watch it on repeat. I used to watch it 3 or 4 times a day.
Was that your sick day movie as well? If you was off of school at sick, you'd watch that film back to back.
Yeah.
Do you know what mine was? You'll never guess.
Gremlins.
No.
Oh,
Powerful guesser. I like that film too. Was Last Action Hero.
Okay.
With Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
That
film used to be a filler movie. I feel like it's a filler movie. If you're from the UK, ITV, at least 4 or 5 times a year.
Yeah, I love that film, and it was an all-star cast. I actually think weird. This is weird. This is what I mean. This is weird how this conversation's going. I actually think that was the one of. Correct me if I'm wrong, but in my knowledge of limited knowledge of what I've seen, so limited. I watched a lot, but my memory's terrible. That Last Action Hero was almost the accompaniment of, or embodiment of the first crossover film. So you had Arnold Schwarzenegger, you had Charles Dance, you had loads of different actors from all kinds of different action and thriller films, all thrust together, very tongue-in-cheek as actors, playing actors in film universes. Really weird to describe, but again, if you've never seen it, go back and watch it, because going back, it's cheesy, but it's cool cheesy. And it was loads of just throwaways to action films. Before we had the Expendables and stuff, this was like the OG, and it was a cool film. And that film, I used to love watching it. Little boy gets a cinema ticket, can go through the screen, and just, what kid wouldn't like that?
Everyone would love it. Love it.
Amazing film.
So if you can think of a bad film that you'd like to see remade, let us know.
Absolutely. Do you know what? Please comment down below. What bad film would you get remade? I want to hear it. I want to see it.
There's got to be some out
I
there.
want to touch it.
Lick it.
I want to smell it.
Baby.
But I do. I want to know what people's perceptions of films like. Oh my god! Do you know what I think the golden age of films was like? Was actually a lot of my favourite films were Arnie films. Actually, growing up, like Running Man, amazing film. You had obviously that. You had Terminator. Yeah, Commando. Holy shit!
It brings you to another one that's currently in cinema now.
What's that?
Top Gun. From what I'm hearing,
I'm going to say something very
the new film was actually pretty good.
Yeah, it's meant to be really good.
However, I'm going to be controversial as well. I've not seen the first one.
I've not either. And the reason for that, I've not seen the first Top Gun.
It's a good job we're not too popular on the internet.
Yeah, absolutely. Tom Cruise.
Obviously,
What's that door? Tom Cruise is here. With his Scientology friends.
Sit down. Fucking watch it.
But I've got to be honest with you. Early Tom Cruise stuff back in the day it wasn't the fact it wasn't my bag. It wasn't on the same level as like
I got to say,
of Arnie films and stuff. Do you know what I mean? They were cool films, but like Cocktail and all the young Tom Cruise stuff was beyond me. It's like
on the same.
I should go back and watch it.
On the same level of good films that have been remade and oversaturation.
Yeah.
I was sitting there in the cinema the other day, waiting for Doctor Strange to come on. Trailer come on. I was thinking, what's this? And then I saw what's his name? What's the comedy actor? Shaun of the Dead.
Oh, Simon Pegg.
Simon Pegg. Saw him come. It's another Mission Impossible film.
Yeah.
Lo and behold, Tom Cruise in comes up. It's another Mission Impossible film.
Yeah. Fair play to the bloke though. He literally does his own stunts, and
yeah. And not only is it another Mission Impossible film, it's part 1.
Of 2.
Part 1.
It's got to be. Well, listen. If people still go and see it, they're going to make money. And I've got to be honest. From what I want to say this about Mission Impossible films, that they're beautifully forgettable.
Yeah, they are.
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't distinguish. If you were to get the last 3 of them out in front of me with the posters on the wall, and going, what is the plot of this one? What is the plot of that and that one? I genuinely get them all muddled up.
I would go with the same theory of they go on a mission. It's deemed impossible.
No, but if they were to go, really tell us the nitty gritty, I'd know. I might remember a couple of them, but I wouldn't get the posters right. I couldn't tell you which one was which.
In the same breath, I guarantee I can stick up all 9 posters for the Fast and the Furious. I'll point at them and you to go, right, what happens in that one? You go, don't know.
I haven't seen
a
couple of them. They're not my. They've gone. They've left.
I've seen them all, but I can't remember.
Yeah,
can't remember.
So I find that Mission Impossible is almost like. It's just. I think it's almost like it's like a Google Stadia. It's for casual film goers that don't want anything too involved. That just want to get stuck in and out for an hour and a half.
No, if you ever want a film that you just want to be able to put on in the background and sort of every now and again just look up. Have you ever seen The Raid?
No.
Look it up. The Raid.
It's in a block of flats.
Yeah, it goes on for about an hour and a half, hour and 45 minutes, and an hour and 40 minutes of that is fight scene.
Nice.
It's the most, I don't want to say dumb viewing, but you just sit there. You don't have to do anything else. There's no other storyline, no plot twist, no nothing. You just watch it.
Yeah.
It's just a guy fighting his way up in an apartment block. Amazing.
Judge Dredd was like that. In fact, another guilty pleasure was the original Judge Dredd film with Sylvester Stallone.
Ghost Rider. Yeah, I quite like Ghost Rider.
I'm out.
I just like Nicolas Cage, I think.
I love Nicolas Cage.
Just like
Don't
Nicolas
Ghost
Cage.
I just, no, I don't know. But this is what I mean. So it's all great having differences, but I think for me, I don't know. There's all them films that go back and look back and make good. I mean, I'm trying to think of an example in my little brain now, rattling around my smooth head, my smooth brain, trying to think of bad films. But there's loads of old stuff I think you put money to now and come out with new ideas, or try and twerk it, baby, and just spin it round and just make it different.
There's also a lot of films that wouldn't work now if you tried to do them again.
Why though?
Back to the Future.
Talk to me.
What a silly film.
Why?
I don't mean that horribly. I just don't know. I just didn't like it. Just didn't like it as a film. I'm not trying to deliver.
Anyway, thank you for watching this week.
Again,
Ricky won't be back next week. He'd be murdered and buried. You're mad.
Maybe it's an age thing. I don't know, but I didn't find it.
Silly film. A very clever man, Christopher Lloyd, by the way.
DeLorean.
I won't have a bad word to say about Christopher Lloyd because he's a fucking goddamn sexual Tyrannosaurus Rex.
Listen. The cast, perfect, but the film itself
was covered in irony, which made it great. DeLorean was a car that couldn't go above 88 miles an hour, and to get to 88, or it could, but to get to 88 miles an hour would literally, it was like 15 to 20 seconds.
Do you know what I would rather watch?
What?
And I know this actually exists out there, is an actual film on John DeLorean rather than the Back to the Future film.
That has happened as a documentary.
It is out there.
Yeah.
It's an interesting watch. But again, if you're not into cars and stuff, it wouldn't interest you. But it's an amazing thing to watch.
Yeah, no, it is.
How he conned Lotus out of like millions of pounds.
Take loads of drug dealers' money to try and funnel it through his business in Northern Ireland. Just incredible stuff. No, it is an incredible story. But yeah, even stuff like that make great biopics if it hasn't already been done. Actually, I'm pretty sure it's docudrama.
It's been done.
But yeah, so I don't know. But going back to it, at the moment, I feel like my time's quite precious about what I can watch, and to get involved in something. Like I started watching the Last Kingdom with Uhtred, son of Uhtred.
Yeah.
Yeah, every episode starts with Uhtred, son of Uhtred. But anyway, really good show. But I think that's a show that went on far too long than it should.
Why have we stopped doing that?
What?
Why have we gone away from naming our sons or daughters our own same names? Don't find it anymore. Really.
Do you know where you do find it? In all Scandinavia. So I've got a few Scandinavian friends, clan your cousins, that basically had to get an episode, couldn't have an episode about it. But they will, like Good Johnson, and all their names, I can't remember how you explain it to me, but effectively your surname or your...
Isn't it a mixture of your parents' names or something?
Sort of.
Yeah.
They always have good...
I don't want to mess it up, but
they have good... I have to get him, he does watch this, I have to get good to actually maybe come on, we'll do another Skype call, but he'll explain it much better than I will. But effectively, it's like your dad's or your grandfather's name in your surname, Good. So you Good Johnson or Good whatever, but that's the idea. So
in case you didn't know, my name's Ricky.
But then that's...
And I really wanted to call my son Ricky Jr., but yeah, I wasn't allowed to.
Ricky Bobby.
Ricky Bobby?
Ricky Bobby. I guess that's another good film, actually.
It is a good film.
That was one of the first Ballad of Ricky Bobby. That was one of the first films that came out on Blu-ray that you saw everywhere. Come and get a Blu-ray player and get what's it called? The Ballad of Ricky Bobby, wasn't it?
Have you seen Blades of Glory?
Yeah.
It's like one of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah, but you know what though?
Outlandishly ridiculous.
Sorry, I'm also going to have a little reshuffle. So the one thing I would say is that I think Will Ferrell, Adam Sandler films have got a bit pants. Do you know what I did? I got Apple subscription TV service.
So I've watched that. Yeah, I've been watching loads of stuff on it recently. and an interesting conversation I had with someone, again, you know this person, same person I mentioned earlier, the actual quality of stuff on Apple TV Plus, there's not much on there, but the actual like quality in terms of the way it's shot, the way it's made, the stories, it seems to be so much better than anything else I watch.
Yeah. I think I actually got a month's trial or a 7-day trial to watch that Will Ferrell show that's on there. And I think I started watching it.
I've not watched it yet.
I've got done the first episode and actually cancelled the subscription. But I think I went into it with the wrong expectations. And
did you expect it to be funny and it's not funny?
No, I expected to have dark comedy in certain aspects of it, but it just didn't. I got to be honest. I just didn't want to commit my time to watching it because it didn't grab me. And if you don't grab me in the first episode, then
if you do have Apple TV Plus and you do find yourself wanting to watch something, I cannot recommend this enough. Ted Lasso.
Yeah, apparently so. Yeah, it's good.
It is unbelievable.
American football coach takes over
American football
team.
Takes over a British football team. It is beyond funny. Like beyond funny. It is so good.
See, that I wouldn't mind watching actually. Sorry, Apple.
So good. And then there's another series on there called Trying. That's very, very funny. Based in London. That's very, very good. There's a lot of stuff on there at the moment that's very, very good. I'll tell you what I did watch on there, and this got a load of nominees and awards and stuff. It was a film called Coda.
Mm-hmm.
Heard of it?
No.
So Coda is it stands for Child of Deaf Adults. I hope I didn't butcher that, but I'm pretty sure that's right. And essentially, your other half watches Lock and Key, didn't she?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the young teenage girl from now, Emilia Jones, her name, she stars in it. If you get a chance, watch it. Watch it. I'm not normally into story-driven films and stuff like that, and stuff, but just outstanding. Absolutely outstanding.
Outstanding in his field.
She wasn't standing in the field, but yes.
Very nice. There's one thing before we draw to a close that I've actually blown away with. I got into
Gale Force Wind.
No.
Oh.
Would have been more pleasurable. My missus got a new motor. Company car and all that, but I don't know what my expectations were. Have you been into a Lexus for a while?
Yeah.
I was stunned about how oldie-woldy it was.
What did you expect?
I expected it to be really nice and comfy, which it is, but I didn't expect the level of how basic it is.
Mm-hmm.
The sat nav looked like it's from a 1980s Toyota, which it probably is.
It's because it is.
You got company.
We'll ignore that.
But anyway, no. So I just wanted to get it in there because I was really, really surprised by it. I didn't know what my expectations were, but I was just like, really nice drive, by the way, the hybrid and all that doodah. So I'm just casual chats coming in there, but I'm just absolutely flabbergasted by how oldie-woldy it is.
Build quality though, in terms of the way it's actually made, is it nice?
Not particularly,
No.
But it just drives amazing. The drive is actually amazing.
They do always drive well, and the seats are normally really, really comfy.
They are really comfortable. And the kicker was that when she got presented her car, the guy that was presented to her, the fleet manager, is a very, very older gentleman.
Right.
And he went, "Here's your new car. Are you excited? This is lovely. I really like this." And she looked at me. For that reason, I'm not excited. That is the exact reason why I wanted the Mercedes. And he was like, "What do you mean?" He went, "Do you go golf?" He went, "Yeah, it's great from your club." She went, "Exactly." She honestly, she's a savage. She's just like a female version of me. She's like, "I just for that reason, I'm out."
Take keys.
Take keys. I'll get a bus home. No, but exactly. No, it drives lovely though. In Lexus reviews, I haven't been in a Lexus in a long time, but I was very stunned by how old he met.
They've not changed much over the past 15 years.
No, but I bet it never breaks.
It won't break, and you'll never be uncomfortable in it.
No.
They're very well made, but they're just old.
I was just stunned that it didn't have any no Apple CarPlay, no Android Auto, nothing to confuse an LD person. No Android what?
They know their target demographic.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Just make it look like
However, the LC500, if you get a chance, have a look at one of those.
Mm.
Much pricier car, but they're a lot better inside.
Ooh, now he's speaking. Right, other than that, Ricky, have you got anything else?
Yes.
Oh.
No.
Ah.
No, nothing.
Right, party people, if you haven't already, like and subscribe. Come back to us when we next decide to put a video up. Come.
It could be tomorrow.
It could be tomorrow.
It could be tomorrow. Or it could be in about 4 months' time. We literally never know.
We don't know.
We never know.
Join, subscribe to us, and you can go on the mythical journey with us.
And if you haven't watched the previous videos, go and have a look at them and all.
Yeah, they'll come up now. They come up in the description. So I just feel so tired. I can go to sleep. It's so comfy. I might just...
I never check, but I guarantee you never put half the stuff in the description. We need to start making notes. Next time I'm going to jot down on a notepad every time you say check something in the description. I'm going to write it down.
And then slap me if I don't do it. Really hard on the bottom.
With a fish.
Oh, lovely. I might start doing it more often then.
I'll let you choose the fish, but yeah.
Lovely. Swordfish.
Sword first.
Cheeky bumwink.
Pokey
bumwink. Right, anyway, take care, mind it, go, and see you next time.
Yeah.
Still in there. Bye, Bye.